Good morning from Noosa in Queensland.
This is a very wet 20-degree morning.
My name is Tack. That there is the pathway to success. And this is the Ironman in me. So today I'm doing something very special with a friend of mine called Mark Beach. We are doing a sweat test on me, which effectively collects the sweat and then tells me how much I sweat and what body composition I'm losing in my sweat during my training, which is really important to know. I don't know a huge amount of it, but Mark does. So we'll have a chat with him and see what it's all about.
Hi, I'm Mark from HNR Fitness. That's hydration, nutrition and recovery. So HNR Fitness. I'm based up in Noosa and I'm a qualified sports nutritionist and nutrition advisor, and I also do sweat testing on athletes. So we put these on. Basically it runs a very small current through your arm, and what it's going to do is stimulate your sweat glands. So underneath the red one there, when we take it off, it'll stimulate your sweat gland, and then from there I will collect some sweat, and that will then get analysed. Okay, so we'll take this off now.
So that's been about 10 minutes sitting on there.
And then, so it will take a little while on some people are different, but that will start sweating, and then we'll show you how we put the reciprocal on to collect the sweat.
So the electrodes are off and we're just waiting for that area there just to gather enough sweat on it, where the red electrode was.
So this is the sweat collector, and we're just going to stick it on top, and that should, just lift your arm up there, just need to get it right on top.
So as you can see, the tube inside the collector has got a blue dye in it, and it's slowly filling up with sweat from my arm. So as you can see, we've got sweat up into the collecting unit now. So I'm going to take it off and we'll see what happens next. And that's all is on my arm, just a bit of the blue dye on the sweat that was stimulated by the electrode. So now Mark's just plugging the capillary into the machine. And then squeezing the sweat into the machine.
Okay, so the sweat testing will look at the sodium loss in your sweat, and sodium is the predominant electrolyte that you'll lose in your sweat. Obviously potassium and magnesium is also lost through sweat, but sodium is the one that you will lose more. So once we've tested the sweat, we collect obviously the sweat, and as you would have seen, we use a machine that will analyse the sweat and give us a figure of exactly how much sodium is in that sweat. From there I can then develop a hydration plan, and that will allow you to know how much sodium to replace in your water. Obviously, if you're training hard or you're in a hot environment, you need to replace your sodium. If you don't, you just carry on drinking water, you're already diluting a diluted system that you have already, and you're not going to get benefit gains out of that. So the benefits of having the correct electrolyte balance in your body, because that's what we're trying to find, is we're trying to find a balance always, in terms whether it's nutrition or electrolytes or whatever. It's performance gains. For example, sodium is a transporter for your nutrition, so it will transport your nutrition around your body. Again, if you're dehydrated, you're not going to get that benefit. There are some studies as well that say it will help with cramping, but overall you want to be hydrated, and just drinking water isn't good enough if you're sweating. You can end up with a thing called hyponatremia, which in some cases can be fatal. Okay, so at the moment we're looking at 54 millimoles in a litre. So what we will do is we will stick that through the algorithm, and then it will convert into milligrams of sodium loss in a litre of sweat. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just put the test score in, and that will then give us your result of how much sodium you lose in your sweat. What you will need to do is work out your sweat rate. So if we're going for a run, before you go for a run, take your clothes off. Obviously, be at home. I wouldn't suggest doing that out on the street. Something might happen, may not. Go for your run, come back, jump on the scales again. Again, take your clothes off. The reason why we do that, your clothes will hold the water, which is weight, and we just want your body weight. You then put the results of the scales, your weight, into a sweat calculator, and that will give you your sweat rate. So for example, to keep it nice and easy, say your results was 500 milligrams of sodium in a litre of sweat, and that's your sodium loss from your sweat, and you lost a litre of sweat an hour in a run. So you went for a run for an hour, you would need to replace 500 milligrams of sodium in that sweat. Example, I lose about, in hot conditions up in Noosa here, in the summer, I lose 3 litres of sweat in an hour. So if I had 500 milligrams of sodium loss in my sweat, and I went for a run for an hour in hot conditions at the intensity that I've trained at and measured myself out, that would be 1500 milligrams of sodium in that litre of sweat.
That's the sweat test now done, and I now need to do the test to see how much I sweat per hour and record the temperatures, my body weight, etc., as Mark was saying. So I'll do that when I get home to WA,